Welcome back. Man, do we have a massive redemption story unfolding today under that closed roof in Houston. We're diving into the exact moment Portugal absolutely woke up at the 2026 FIFA World Cup, delivering an absolute 5-0 masterclass against Uzbekistan. We're going to map out exactly how a team that was under a literal microscope managed to completely flip the narrative and absolutely dominate. But hey, before we even get into the tactics, just listen to this observation from the commentators about Cristiano Ronaldo. He looked at the camera and went, "I'm back." Honestly, we're tossing the standard agenda out the window for this explainer because we just need to dive straight into the drama. This was a match where a legend, and really his entire squad, had a massive, massive point to prove. And spoiler alert, they did not hold back for a single second. Okay, let's dive right into this. Section 1, the pressure to perform and the weight of doubt. To really grasp the sheer impact of this 5-0 blowout, we've got to set the stage. Roberto Martinez and his squad were facing some really fierce questions. I mean, pointed questions from the global media. They were coming off this deeply frustrating opening draw against DR Congo. So this dark cloud of doubt was hanging heavy over a very star-studded team. The frustration was just palpable. They desperately needed to shake off those nerves and actually get their tournament running. And the contrast here is crazy. On one side, you've got Portugal's heavy pedigree, a team that's made the knockouts in 4 of the last 5 World Cups. The pressure is suffocating. On the other side, Uzbekistan, the proud White Wolves making their historic World Cup debut. Led by the legendary Fabio Cannavaro, they came to Houston hoping to build their future and grow the sport back home. It was basically a David versus Goliath setup, right? Except this time, Goliath showed up incredibly angry. Which brings us to Section 2, the red jersey avalanche. And man, that Portuguese anger turned into a surgical dismantling of their opponents from the literal opening whistle. Just look at the tactical execution here. First off, they made their intentions crystal clear by bagging a goal just 6 minutes in. 6 minutes! From there, it absolutely snowballed. They locked down a dominant wide game, totally stretching the pitch to pull Uzbekistan's defensive blocks way out of alignment. And once they had that width, bam, they unleashed this hyper-aggressive press, shutting down passing lanes instantly. The commentators even joked that Uzbekistan was just seeing a panic of blurry red jerseys everywhere. That relentless pressure systematically forced Uzbekistan into taking professional fouls. I mean, their crucial holding midfielder, who started all 16 of their qualifiers, had to take a cheap yellow card just outside the box super early on. That basically ruined his ability to defend freely for the rest of the game. It was just a rigorous analytical breakdown by Portugal. The sheer volume of this onslaught is just mind-blowing. Cristiano Ronaldo grabbed 2 spectacular goals, Nuno Mendes added another, and, by the way, Mendes was an absolute weapon down that left side. He was constantly overlapping, creating these numerical overloads that Uzbekistan literally could not solve. Like the commentators said, there's a reason Luis Enrique constantly praises his tactical importance over at PSG. Then you add in an incredibly unfortunate own goal from Housenov, who was clearly just crumbling under the relentless Portuguese pressure. And finally, Rafael Leao smashing in number 5 to seal the whole shebang. They dominated offensively, defensively, and structurally. Now, what's really interesting about this next part is, well, Section 3, Ronaldo eclipses Eusebio. Because beyond the team's total victory, we hit the emotional peak of the explainer with a historic individual milestone. 9. That is the massive number you need to remember. With his second goal of the night, which was this spectacular finish where he dipped his left shoulder to just beautifully create space, Cristiano Ronaldo reached his 9th World Cup goal. And by hitting that number, he officially surpassed the legendary Eusebio to become Portugal's all-time top scorer at the FIFA World Cup. Just incredible. But his legacy goes even further than that. He is now the first player ever to score in 6 different World Cups. 6? It's unreal. This just cements his absolute consistency. I mean, he has spent a lifetime rising above everyone else on the global stage. Honestly, the only thing missing from this fairy tale might was a hat trick, and he was only denied that by an absolutely heroic leaping save by Uzbekistan's goalkeeper Niamatov, who literally picked up an injury just to keep the ball out of the net. But hey, the statement had already been firmly made. And that brings us to Section 4, a statement to the world. So what does this all mean for the broader 2026 tournament? Look, every single team navigating a World Cup has an off day. The commentators actually made a brilliant comparison to Qatar in 2022, remember? When Argentina lost their very first game to Saudi Arabia, but then went on to win the whole tournament. It's not the setback that dictates a champion's fate, it's the response. And wow, what a response this was. As the commentators observed about Martinez's squad completely flipping the script. From doubt to direction, from setback to statement. That is absolutely the main thing you should take away from this explainer. They didn't just eke out a win, they dominated in all facets. They got their wide game back, the midfield clicked, and they put the world on notice that they mean business. So the crucial takeaway here is Portugal has officially arrived, and I want to leave you with this question to chew on. With their swagger totally back, their tactics firing on all cylinders, and Ronaldo making global history, can anyone stop this awakened Portuguese squad? It is going to be absolutely fascinating to track the momentum of this rejuvenated team as we head into the rest of the World Cup. Thank you so much for joining me to break this all down, and as always, keep learning.